Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome back. It's Thursday. I pretty much figured we're still building this, channel. It's new, and I'm loving it. I really appreciate the people that come through and watch and comment and all that stuff. I really appreciate it, and I really hope we get more subscribers. I just have to keep to it. You know what I'm saying? Not all of my Instagram followers have come over here. That's okay. Go on and miss out. Okay. Um, we are going to talk today about the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, because as you know, we always try and keep things. This tarot channel is focused more on a collective level instead of just, focusing on one person or even the zodiac centered. Although I have done a couple like the Pisces, celebration, things I'll do that, but to say that I'm going to do a tarot for every single zodiac, I'm not doing that on this channel. Like I said, I want this to be more of a collective reading, a collective healing. Um, Even if you're learning or trying to want to learn tarot, you just have to do it. You can learn some of the already set, things like the meaning of the minor and major arcana, or arcana, whatever. How you know what you may say it differently. There's no exact right or wrong, because like I've always said, and we always say with before we do the spread, that the question might not match the answer, and the answer might not match the question, because the message being sent is a message that needs to be received, right? We know this. You guys are well versed in all of this, right? So let's get into let's get into it. Come on in. Come on in. Let's get to it, because I like this one. I like this one. Like I said, I will still go over some stuff on the days. Like I said, I think I'm going to keep Tuesdays and Wednesdays the day that I take care of business. Mondays, I always have the chiropractor, but I still try to do a tarot on Monday. I do like Mondays, the moon day. Not that I don't like Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Also, like I said, I'll still do the tarot card of the week, and post or of something, just a message or something. But a tarot reading per se, I need to let my energy. I'm healing too. We're not doing this just for you. We're doing this for me. And I wholeheartedly admit that. And right, do something for you. Right, that's a hard one, and we're gonna get into that. So okay, like I said, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you are in your day. I really hope you're feeling loved and blessed. Let's get into it. Okay, it is. No, it's Feb 3rd. I'm excited. It is Thursday. Okay. It is Thursday, February 26th, 02/26, 2026. All right. Well, you better go get a lottery ticket as well. Okay. All right. Ruled by the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. From the tarot. Represented by the planet Jupiter. Okay. The message of the Wheel of Fortune is change will come. Change will come. This translation, right? This vibration means cycles, patterns, expansions, movement, and change. Because things change. That's what the message is. Change will come. Like, because where's that? Where are we at with that? Let's stop. You get into a situation and you just there's no movement. You continue to just take this daily bullshit, thinking this is the way it needs to be. That toxic way of thinking. We're going to get to that because we're talking. I'm focusing. We're going to get to that part too with the tarot reading. Is toxic trauma. What is toxic trauma? What do I mean? Trauma that you constantly hold on to, that you don't process, that you don't, you try not to think, you do not want to process this trauma, and you continue to do behaviors that connect you to the toxic behavior. So you continue to hold on to that toxicity, and you continue to do certain things a certain way that continue to hurt you. So that's what I mean by toxic trauma. Trauma that you continue to hold on to and not process and let go. And you continue behaviors that continue to hurt you so that you continue to live through that trauma. You put yourself through that trauma over and over and over and over again for whatever reason that you feel like you deserve this constant, and you don't let anything change. You hold on to it. You're not letting it change. You're not letting it move. You're not letting it progress. You're not letting it turn over. Let's keep going so we can keep understanding what I'm saying. All right, because we're talking about the translation of what the message of the tower, the wheel of fortune. Tower is Tuesday. We're on Thursday. All right, cycles, patterns, expansion, movement, and change. Destiny and fate, two different things, but still, that's what the wheel of fortune coming up in a tarot spread. These are the things that it could mean. Okay. So if you're trying to learn tarot, welcome in. I'll try and help you learn too, and we'll learn together because there is always something to learn every day. Okay, there's so many spreads. There's so many different spreads that you can do. All right, so let's keep going. The turning points in your life. This is what the wheel of fortune represents. Okay, the changes in life. Okay, we're gonna go over that a little more. Right? The interconnected world. Okay. And like I said, the turning points in life. This message is a spread. No, excuse me. I read that wrong. I'm reading my own writing wrong. Oh, the this message in my brain just I don't. I am, by the way, neurodivergent as AF. So okay, this message in a spread can mean to step back. Exactly what I needed to write down. At least I can laugh at myself. Okay, hold on. This message in a spread can mean to step back and see the bigger picture. It represents, I told you, I'm neurodivergent AF, okay? It represents living in harmony. All right, seasons, we're getting to it. As we observe seasons, we learn to live in harmony with those microcosmic shifts, right? Remember, change. Life has cycles. Our bodies have cycles. The planet has cycles. So the spread we are covering is meant to help see the cycles surrounding you. Okay. When it comes to dealing with toxic trauma, we must consider the energy and frequency of the wheel of fortune. How often do we sabotage that balance? And what toxic trauma do you hold on to? Do you let life flow? And how and what are you meant to let go of? I forgot to start the TikTok, the toxic TikTok. Sometimes I just don't know about these social medias, but how do we else do we do it? So let me start the ticky tack, and then we'll go over the tarot card. Actually, let's go over this, and then we'll go to ticky tack and start it, so that they just have the tarot reading. And that means they have to come back for this stuff, right? This is the stuff that's really good, right? All right. All right, self. All right, self. This isn't just me. This is you. This is you, baby. Step right up. Hurry, hurry, before the show begins. Hello, my friends. All right, card one is, what is your current state? What is your current state? All right. Are you constantly repeating the same behaviors over and over again? Are you constantly putting yourself in a state of turmoil? Are you constantly creating environments that aren't healthy for you? Huh? All right. Card two, your environment. What did I just say? Are you creating environments that are toxic to you? All right. Your environment. What is the state of the world that surrounds you? How do they influence you and your choices? Like I just said, do you create an environment that is toxic to you? All right. So this is where it comes in about the seasons. Okay. The seasons, how seasons change. Watching and learning this, watching and learning from the seasons to help us live in better harmony. Because we know that we have uh, winter, spring, summer, and fall. So every season represents a different aspect in life that we can learn from. So let's go over that, okay? So first we talked about two. The second card from the tarot pool is about your environment. So card three is your winter. Okay, your winter, right? This is a time of rest, gathering energy. Okay. What are you taking a break from? Hmm? And what is awaiting arrival? A new way of living, baby. A new way of thinking. A new way of everything. All right. Card four. This is a time for growth. What in your life is just starting to come into fruit, like fruitation, fruition. Blah, 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 blah. What you growing? What you growing and manifesting, and that's coming to growth. What is gaining momentum? Right. Card five. Right. I forgot to write spring. So card three is winter. Card four is spring. Card five is summer. Card six is fall. So I just forgot to write spring. So card four is spring. So card five, summer. This is the time of abundance. So this isn't necessarily like this is going to happen to you in summer. We're talking about the energy and frequency of that season. Okay? Being a time of abundance when something is at its peak. What in your life is in full bloom right now. What can you appreciate, celebrate, and be thankful for? Okay. Card 6 is your fall energy frequency. This is a time of loss, of passing and moving on, right? Because what happens in the fall? Everything starts to die, and we're going to get ready to go into winter, and then it's all cycling all over again. So, fall, what in your life is leaving right now? What things are no longer needed? Toxic trauma, the toxic behavior. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. We are going to take it out to the cards because that's what you're here for. I got rid of that thing because I want to do something with it. Do something with it. Do something with it. Lord have mercy. All right. Woo-woo. Okay. All right. Self. Step right up. What is your current state? What is your state of mind? Good or bad? Negative, positive? You are in a new challenge. You're just in a state of conflict. Um, got some problems, and it's just right there. It's just held you up, right? That sword represents air, but it represents challenges and problems, thoughts and intellect. So how you're thinking, how you're taking in the situation, and your state of mind is in a state of challenge. And it's a new problem. You got a new problem. Something just came up. It's a new problem. But are you always having problems? Are you like, every time I turn around, I got a problem? So, how do you set up your life is what we're looking at. If you're in a current state or even in a constant state of conflict and challenges and problems, this also represents Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Doesn't necessarily mean that this is for a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or it could be. Or it could be that that's what your current state is. Gemini is represented by the lovers, right? Which represents duality, okay? And the Libra is justice, right? Balance, okay? And Aquarius is the star, hope and community. So your current state of mind is what I'm saying could be, that lover's energy, right? That balance, justice energy that you need. You need justice. You need that balance, right? And you need that hope. You need that community. You might be dealing with this challenge and problem by yourself, or you feel alone. You feel like this is that you're alone in this challenge and problem, this new issue, right? So your current state is pretty challenging. But are you doing it to yourself? Are you doing it to yourself? You have to think about your surroundings, but we're gonna get to that. We're not quite there yet, right? So card 2 is the environment. What is the state of the world that surrounds you? And how do they influence you and your choices? Right? What kind of environment? Have you ever been in a good environment? Or I'm saying, are you in a good environment, or have you ever been in a bad environment? I say it in that way because I've been in some pretty bad environments. So, what is the state of the world that surrounds you? Is it chaos? How do they influence you and your choices? Are you in a constant state of being used by the people around you? Right? Do they help you or do they hold you back? Right? Is it a toxic? There's that again. That's what we're dealing with. Toxic trauma. Are you holding on to certain behaviors that keeps you in a certain position? Okay. That's what we're considering with the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So, what is the state of the world that surrounds you, and how do they influence you and your choices? So, we're going to do two cards there because it's kind of two questions. Okay. So, what is the state of the world that surrounds you? Okay. How are the people around you helping you? Six of Wands. Six represents communications, problem solving, and equilibrium, right? And Wands represents fire, passion, activities, and projects. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Okay. So this is about being able to problem solve the people around you, right? You 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 are seen as like you have to communicate everything, right, to everybody. If you're like in a business, I'm thinking, if you're in a business and you're like the supervisor or the manager or anything like that, you are constantly being presented with problems. Because what is your current state? Remember, I said there's a new problem, like you have a new challenge, and that you've been presented, and you're expected to deal with that on your own. Okay, guy standing all by himself, holding this out, holding it up. You're expected to hold it up. You're expected to hold up the projects, because that's what am I saying? Passion, activities, and projects. But like I said, if you're within a business and you are the supervisor, you're expected to problem solve everything on your own. That's what I'm saying about this. Okay? So how do you influence? How do they, the people, or like your employees, maybe? How do they influence you and your choices? Do they take advantage? Are you constantly letting yourself be taken advantage of because you're constantly dealing with problems? You don't allow yourself to have joy. You probably think you need to be constantly miserable. How do they influence you and your choices? They don't let you have clarity because the sun represents joy and clarity. They're probably trying to constantly confuse you so that you make choices that aren't good for you. They're good for just them. And in a business venture, it's everybody on board. It should be. That's the way it should be. Nobody should be taking advantage of everybody, but you're constantly being taken advantage of because you constantly have issues and problems and challenges, and you got to do one. Why do I say that? Because we're right back at Ace is right back at the beginning. You're not even in the middle. Not even towards a court card, okay? Because we go from Ace to King, and you're right at the beginning. Okay. So it's a constant thing for you. You're right at a new cycle, right? Because we're dealing with the Wheel of Fortune and the cycles, right? Right. But we're also thinking in our minds, toxic trauma. What do you constantly do to yourself that keeps you in the positions that you're in that aren't good for you, right? Okay. So card 3 is winter. What's that frequency and energy? This is the time of rest, of gathering energy. So, what are you taking a break from? Constantly having to structure. Okay, because 4 represents stability, structure, and stagnation. And cups represents emotions, water, relationships, emotions, creativity. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So what are you taking a break from? Constantly having to structure, constantly having to carry all of the emotions that hold you from being at the leader. Okay? Thinking, thinking. Remember, I said sometimes the question doesn't match the answer and the answer doesn't match the question. This is one of them. But we understand that it's supposed to be the winter energy and a time of rest and gathering energy. What are you taking a break from? Always, yeah, just always having to structure your emotions and not, I keep saying structure because that's the key word, but you're always having to, you know, gather yourself for a minute because you're full of emotions and people kind of play off that and they see your vulnerability and they take advantage of that. And setting boundaries is going to have to be the biggest take from here, because that's the toxic trait. You're constantly dealing with your emotions and people take advantage of that. So that's what I think I'm getting from that. Is like I said, message doesn't match the question and the question doesn't match the answer. Okay. So still with this, what is waiting arrival? What is to come? What is to come? Well, look at yeah, look at here. We got another another four, four of pentacles. Pentacles representing physical things, resources, and the body. Right, the Earth, the Virgo, the Taurus, the Capricorn. What is awaiting your arrival? That structure of your physical things and your resources always helps when you balance out yourself, your physical, your body, your grounding, your sense of being gets structured and stabilized, which helps your emotions, right? So once you ground yourself, which requires your mind, right? Require requires that meditative action to structure yourself, because four, like I said, means stability, structure, and or stagnation. And it takes your action, it takes your movement, right? To stabilize and structure, you have to structure your your resources to help with that chaos, because those emotions just bring you chaos. Because, like I said, the constant pressure that you have. Okay. So let's see where we at. Four. This is I forgot about TikTok. Oh well. This is a time of growth for growth. What in your life is just starting to come into fruition? What is gaining momentum? What in your life is just starting to come to fruit? Come a tree growing, tree growing, bearing your fruit. Look at him. King, the leader, the protector, the authority. Right? And we already know we just said cups. We just said cups being your emotions, in the relationships you have with people and yourself, and also representing creativity. It could be all of three. It could be one of them. It could be none of them. Right? But what is gaining momentum? You becoming more in control and taking care of your emotions and your needs, right? Because the leader, the king, takes authority, right? So, what is gaining momentum? You, by stabilizing and grounding your sense of being and your resources, you become structured in your emotions. Okay. Why else would a cup card come up? Because remember, I said in the beginning that the ace was the beginning and the king was the end, and you're cycling again. But you can get control of your and lead of your emotions, and not let people take advantage of you if you start structure your sense of grounding and well-being, right? Because that will help you learn to get boundaries. Okay, some cups. Okay, and look, wands and sun, fire, fire. Hello. Okay, shuffle card 5 is summertime. Summertime. I love the summer. This is a time of abundance when everything is at its peak, right? Everything is everybody's at the beach enjoying the sunshine, right? What in your life is in full bloom right now? Hmm. Hmm. The irony. The irony. This is about something ending, something transforming within you, something changing, something going away, if you will. Yeah, in a big change. It's a big change. It doesn't necessarily mean what you think it means, or when people see it, they go, this isn't the card to worry about. This just means a transformation or something ending. And things end, right? Everything ends. Cycles also end, right? Okay. What can you appreciate, celebrate, and be thankful for? Hmm. 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 Remember the pentacles over here, which was structuring your resources, physical things in your body. Page of Pentacles. You have that new beginning, right? Because page represents youthfulness, enthusiasm, and or a message. Okay. What can you appreciate, celebrate, and be thankful for? You have the opportunity to make that change. You have the opportunity to ground yourself. You have the opportunity to get your sense of well being and set those boundaries. Okay. That's right. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Gonna have to just let them know. Just gonna have to let them know. Just gonna have to let them know. Is it there? We're not. Okay, well, I'm going live because I want people to know they're gonna have to come and check out this. I totally forgot to do it, and so The sixth card is fall. What? This is the time of loss and of passing and moving on, right? What in your life is leaving now? What things are no longer needed? Okay. So we got the death card, right? Because this is full bloom right now. You're in full transformation, right? Full transformation with this issue of you kind of letting people walk all over you. Are people letting you, that's that toxic trauma. You feel like you deserve that and you have to transform that. You have that potential there. So this is the last card. Unfortunately, I forgot to go live, but that's okay. I don't even know if it is live. I don't even know how to work it. I'll figure it out one of these days. So I don't even know what all these buttons mean. What is that? I don't know. You can make a whole lot of things, and I'll figure it out one of these days. What is that? No, cancel. I don't know. I don't know. We're not gonna worry about that. Let's finish this. I just wanted to remember to go live because I said I would. And then if anybody joins, somebody joins. And I guess that's how I'll get. I want to use TikTok to try and get more people to subscribe. So we got to use the things and things. So anyhow, let's finish. Fall. This is the time of loss, of passing and moving on. So what in your life is leaving now? What in your life is leaving now? You always have to see the cards. Yeah, see? Look again. Two. Two is about balance, right? In that relationship with yourself, balancing that out and having compassion. That challenge, that sword. Remember, we already started out with the Ace of Swords being your problem, being you have that challenge and that problem and that conflict. And then here being what in your life is leaving now. That balance, that challenge, that problem, that thought or intellect, that's leaving. You're going to find the balance for this problem. Okay. What things are no longer needed? That toxic trauma, that toxic way of thinking that you deserve to be taken advantage of and that you have to bear all the weight. You shouldn't have to bear all the weight and you deserve to have that clarity and sun in your life. Okay. What things are no longer needed? Page of Wands. You don't have to just keep it at the beginning. You don't have to ignore it anymore. You're allowed to see the passion and fire of your own light. You're allowed to be what you need to be for yourself. Right? Thinking, thinking, thinking. That guilt. You see how she's playing a violin? You know that old saying when, playing the violin when you basically meaning you know feeling sorry for yourself. Do you constantly feel sorry for yourself playing that violin? When somebody's talking and they're just like yeah, and you just yeah, right, playing the violin when you hear somebody talking and you just want to or you do it to yourself and you're just constantly playing the violin, constantly feeling sorry for yourself, right? That is no longer needed. You no longer need to feel sorry for yourself and play your violin. Okay? That's what that is. All right. Yeah. I think that's good. I shut down the TikTok. I don't want to go back. No, no, no. Yeah, that's a little bit longer today, huh? But yeah, that's what we wanted to talk about. That toxic trauma that we hold on to, that behavior, that those ideas that we believe we shouldn't shine, you know. We have to bear the weight and always have a new problem, right? You have to structure your resources. You have to structure your emotions and you'll gain that maturity, you'll gain that leadership of yourself, that's of your emotions, right? You have to let things transform. That's where you're at right now. Things are changing. And that's what the Wheel of Fortune is about, right? Change, right? Change will come if you allow it. Or do you hold on to it? Mm, because that's what you're used to. Gonna hold on to all of that. All right, we'll close this here. We appreciate the energy and the spirit's message. I hope it resonated with you. If it didn't, that's okay. I hope you enjoyed watching and eating your popcorn or something. I don't know. We're still growing. I hope you appreciate that. This is new, new channel, new. Just trying to gain subscribers. I'd really like to get to 1,000. I got 27 right now. Hey, welcome new subscribers. I hope you enjoy watching. Let me know, if you enjoy it, leave me a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the buttons, right? Please, it helps me to grow, right? I want things to evolve. I want things to change and cycle. Wheel of Fortune energy for my Thursday. I hope you enjoyed watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll check in again, okay? Stay blessed and stay sassy and stay safe.